What's up, guys? Welcome to Between the Lines, the 37th edition of Between the Lines. I'm your host, Tanner Kern. I'm joined by my co-host, Grant Mitchell, officially a co-host now. Grant, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It feels good to hear co-host in the intro.
Yeah, you know what? You've come so far in baseball. You're co-host now. You deserve it. Basketball, when you have a basketball show, I will become your co-host. I will earn that right when I learn about basketball.
You got to start as a guest.
Yeah, I know. I start as a guest and just work with Grant. We got 2 weeks left. You worked hard throughout most of the season to get to where you are today. It didn't just come, Grant. It takes a lot of grit, a lot of fucking grit, Grant. You know what, too, Grant? I want to talk about it at intro for a minute. That intro has me ready to run through a freaking brick wall every time it happens. Every Tuesday or Wednesday night, whenever we record, it has me ready to run through a freaking brick wall. Shout out RJ, best intro guy in the game.
Tanner, should I call my basketball show Between the Baselines? How about that?
No, it just doesn't flow good. It's good, but it doesn't like flow. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I was just trying to play off of it. I'll come up with something.
Yeah, you come up with something. That's cool. I appreciate that. I'll be on it. I'll be a guest. I'll talk about the Celtics. We'll go all in Celtics to win the Eastern Conference this year and then win the NBA championship, the finals.
You'll reevaluate that pick once you learn a little more about the rest of the league.
Great. I don't know if you didn't know this, but I'm the Boston Celtics beat writer for TalkingBoston.com, so I kind of know my shit.
Oh yeah, about the Celtics. You know there are 30 other teams in the league, right?
Yeah, Grant, I know. All right, let's get into this. Caesar Sportsbook, Sports 20 RF, risk-free bet to $5,000. Grant, I'm going to throw something up right now. I'm going to throw a little something up on the screen here. Grant, do you see this? Grant, can you read this? Wait. Fuck, my computer's. You see that?
Tuesday Dingers, Caesar Sportsbook.
Tuesday Dingers on Caesar Sportsbook. Tell me what sportsbook out there runs a Tuesday Dinger promotion between the Red Sox and the Mets, where if you bet $50 money line on either team, you get $25 in free bets every home run your team hits. Nobody else is doing that besides Caesar Sportsbook. They do that every Tuesday. The season's coming to an end. Let's try to get it going here. Get on it right now before the season comes to an end to bet on baseball. All right.
You better hope Kyle Schwarber hits you some dingers, because the Mets probably aren't going to do much for you.
What is the score of that game right now? I don't have it on TV.
You know what? I got it right now. The score is, if my page will load, the score is 0-0, top of the second.
The Yankees are up 1-0, top of the second, over the Rangers. That's big. Blue Jays, Rays tied, bottom of the second. So we'll be checking scores as the night goes on here. Going to do a quick show tonight, Between the Lines, number 37, breaking down the MLB playoffs. The first thing we're going to talk about, I guess, is the AL wildcard, but do you want to start with Garrett Cole? Because I think that's more pressing, I guess, from Sunday. So as you guys know, Garrett Cole was booed. Wait, it's Garrett Cole.
You got it right.
I got the name. Wait, no, it's 1T, Grant. It's 1T. That's on me. You know what? He's just so irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Garrett Cole.
Okay, hold on. I thought we were defending him.
So I got two different sides to this. I got two different sides to the Garrett Cole thing. There was one podcast I listened to today where it basically made Yankees fans sound like animals, like they don't have brains. Like they're not booing Garrett Cole. They're just booing the situation. And in the moment, they can't process the difference between what's right and what's wrong. I heard that take and I was like, okay, like as much as I don't love Yankee fans, I think they do have brains, right? But I also heard the other take. It's like, well, I've never booed at a sporting event. Like Garrett Cole's got them there. He took them to the promised land and you're booing him. So I get Yankee fans are frustrated because obviously it's frustrating. This team of savages is not going to make the playoffs, most likely, right? And even if you make the wild card, you're still not doing anything. This Yankee team's not designed to make it to the wild card. This Yankees team's designed to make it to the World Series. So I don't know. I don't think it's right to boo Garrett Cole. But again, I don't think they were booing Garrett Cole. I think they're booing the situation. I don't know, Grant. What do you think? Then I'll chip in after you give me your opinion.
I mean, I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. That was my understanding the entire time. But it's almost like one of those situations where it's like, don't kill the messenger. Most times the Yankees have lost the season. It hasn't been Garrett Cole's fault. The players, whoever's been underperforming that day, has been booed, right? This time it just so happened that Garrett Cole was the reason they lost. I mean, you could blame the offense, but the fact that the Indians ended up scoring 11 runs, you can put the majority of the blame at Garrett Cole's feet. So I agree that, they were definitely booing the situation. They weren't booing Garrett Cole and what he's done for them. But I also think that Garrett Cole, would have earned that respect to, he's allowed to throw one game after he, was going to win the Cy Young. That one game may have put it in jeopardy, but up to that point, he was the best pitcher in the American League. So right or wrong, whether it was about the situation, about him as an individual, he did not deserve that, in my opinion. And I know that's me thinking, I guess, too much of Yankees fans probably, but still, I think they should have shown him some more respect.
Yeah, I do too. And I think the bottom line is too, it's like, do you really think Garrett Cole went out on the mound and said, hey, I'm going to try to pitch like shit today. I'm going to try to get bombed. I'm going to try to give up 7 runs in 5.2 innings. Like, there's no way he did that. He obviously went out there and said, I'm going to have the game of my life today. I'm going to pitch my ass off. It just didn't work out. That's baseball. That's what happens. The Texas Rangers, they might be absolute trash. They might be dog water, but you know what? They're still professional baseball players. They can still hit the baseball and they can still rock Garrett Cole. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't take away from what Garrett Cole's done this season. So yeah, I don't think they should have booed Garrett Cole. But again, like, they're booing the situation too. I understand that it's frustrating. You got your ace on the mound in a game you have to win. But the bottom line is, man, Garrett Cole got you there. Without Garrett Cole, you take away X amount of wins from your season right now. You're not even close to the playoff picture. So I'm torn by it a little bit because I understand booing the situation. It's frustrating for Yankee fans right now, but you can't be booing Garrett Cole. It's just unfair to Garrett Cole, first of all. But I give credit to him after the game in the post-game presser. He's like, yeah, it's a big game. I didn't pitch well enough. This is a must-win game. I had to come out and set the tone, and I didn't do it. So I have a lot of respect for him in that regard.
And that's what you want to hear from him. Obviously I'm not a professional athlete, and I know that, like, I've blocked out noise before in my life, but it's nowhere near being the ace in a New York media market, right? So I don't know exactly how thick Garrett Cole's skin is, if he actually believes 100% in what he said in that post-game press conference. But there's a part of me that wonders, when his contract runs up, is he thinking that, like these Yankee fans, I was the Cy Young winner. I was single-handedly carrying this team. We were supposed to win the World Series. The rest of the team played like shit. I was the only one holding up my end of the deal, and I got booed for it. Does he think about that later on? That's just one thing that I would keep in the back of my mind.
So I think his contract has 7 more years on it. I could be wrong. I don't know when there's a buyout on it.
Well, yeah, it's a long time. So he's going to be around there.
I will say, though, other players in free agency seeing Garrett Cole, what he's done. Do I really want to go play for the New York Yankees if that's how they're going to treat? I mean, they were booing Aaron Judge on day one. And I shouldn't say this because Yankee fans or Yankee writers, the New York media blows thing out of proportions in the sense of, okay, if a little, like, I heard this on a podcast today too. Like, where the beat writers sit at Yankee Stadium, like, if they hear some boos, they're going to blow it up. Now, obviously, the Garrett Cole boo is not just one section. It was all 30, 40,000 people at Yankee Stadium. But when I look at this, it's like not the right thing to do. Players, free agents, if I'm like thinking, should I come to New York? I don't want to get booed after like what Garrett Cole. If I'm the next Garrett Cole, if I'm performing and I have one bad game, I don't want to get booed. The Yankee fans, they're just not, they're not all there, Grant. They're not all there. But you know what? This is wrong. That's what I'll say. I'm going to stick with this is the wrong.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tanner. But you know what's right? This is a good segue into our next topic. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox are right now. Obviously, the Tampa Bay Rays are probably going to win the division. It'd be pretty much impossible for them to choke it. But the Red Sox and the Blue Jays looks like they're going to be meeting in the wild card. As it is right now, you guys would be hosting it. Obviously, that could change because there are a lot of division matchups coming up. How do you, as a Red Sox, feel about welcoming Vladdy and crew into Fenway for a best-of-1?
Well, Grant, I will say that a lot is going to happen over the next 10 games. So as much as the Yankees are dead, mathematically, they still have a chance. Now, they are dead, I'm just saying. But mathematically, you know what? It could be in Toronto. It could be in Boston. I'm not going to sit here and be a dumb Red Sox fan and say, yeah, we're definitely hosting the wild card. But we are hosting the wild card, just to let you know, Grant. So anyways, am I afraid of Vladdy Jr.? No. Would I rather face the Yankees in one game? Yes.
Hold on. You're not afraid of Vladdy?
No, I'm not afraid of Vladdy.
We should just move on now because you're not telling the truth.
No, Grant, here's the thing. I'm more afraid of the Blue Jays over one game than the Yankees because you stick the Blue Jays out there for one game, they can do damage. But again, it's like it's a pick 'em, right? You're either going to get the A Blue Jays or you're going to get the terrible Blue Jays. You just don't know. You're going to get Robbie Ray on the bump, obviously. With the Yankees, I mean, you're going to get the Savages or you're going to get the not Savages. Like, you just don't know. One games are so hard to predict. The bottom line is the good thing going for us is probably going to be at Fenway. Like that's the one saving grace in this game, because playoff home field advantage in the playoffs, especially in a 1-game situation, matters.
Tanner, do you know who has hit the most home runs in baseball this season?
I didn't mean it like I'm not afraid of Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Okay, we got a pitcher on Vladdy Guerrero Jr. We played him 19 fucking times this year, Grant. Oh, we know how to play against these guys. We know how to play against the Yankees. We know how to play against the Blue Jays.
You know how to play against him. Do you know who has the highest batting average in baseball this season, Tanner?
Is it Vladdy?
It is Vladdy. He's hitting 320, number 1 in the league.
What's his RBIs at?
He's tied for 5th, 105. He's second in OPS.
Grant, yeah. What do you want? Grant, what do you want from
me? I want you to be honest. I want you to say you're afraid of the Blue Jays, because you should be terrified. And I mean, you're right that you can get the A version of the Blue Jays, which at their peak is better than the Dodgers, best team in baseball. No, but let's
be real. Like, you can't say the Blue Jays are the best team in baseball at their maybe the best offense. Are you going to say best offense? You can't say best team in baseball. Because I'll tell you what,
if everybody is going at their absolute peak, then like both teams, like if we assume the Dodgers are at their 100% and the Blue Jays are at their 100%, then yes, I would take the Dodgers. But I'm saying, if the Dodgers are like their average self, which is amazing, but like not that 100%, maybe they're at like 90%, then I would say the Blue Jays are the best team in baseball. You're getting me away from my point here. The
Blue Jays might not make the playoffs, Grant. The Dodgers at 90%.
And the Red Sox might need the playoffs either. Let me finish.
What are you talking? The wild card runs through Fenway. Grant, I'm going to read you something that you're going to think you're stupid right now, okay? Tampa Bay is leading the division with 93 wins. Okay, they're leading the American League East. Toronto has 84 wins. They're in third place. Boston has 86 wins. Toronto is a game and a half back. We go to the National League. Do you realize in the National League West, Grant, the Dodgers have had to face the Padres and the Giants?
This isn't about the Padres.
Wait. This is my show. 38 times, Grant. 38 times. They have 96 wins. They have 12 more wins than Toronto Blue Jays. And you're sitting here telling me that the 90% Dodgers would get their asses kicked by the 100% Blue Jays? You're outside your freaking mind, Grant.
No, you're outside of your mind because you're not even listening to what I'm trying to say to you. I'm saying you, as a Red Sox fan, are being disingenuous, saying, "Oh, is this Escalante? Is this?"
He's from Twitter. He followed me on Twitter today.
Okay, so what I was saying is that the Red Sox, as a Red Sox fan, you're being disingenuous, saying you're not afraid of the Blue Jays because you're 100% right. You can get the Blue Jays that could compete to be the best team in baseball since you've got your panties in a bunch, or you could get the Blue Jays that look like they're bottom of the division, right? You don't know what you're gonna get, but that is the exact reason that you should be terrified, because if they come into Fenway in a best of one with the Red Sox pitching staff, I mean Chris Sale, obviously, who knows, that Red Sox team can't seem to keep everyone ready to play. If Chris Sale's there, then that's going to be all your hopes and prayers are going to rely on him. But if the Blue Jays are hitting the ball, and it's not just Vladdy, it's Semien, it's Bo Bichette. That team, everybody on that squad can light it up. So that's why you should be terrified. It's the fact that the Blue Jays are inconsistent that makes them so scary.
Grant, first of all, I got to give a shout out to my boy Saeed Escalante. I think it's Saeed, right? I mean, let me know the pronunciation, but I think it's Saeed. This is better than ESPN. What the F? Obviously it is. Sports 2.0 network on freaking moon. Grant, the bottom line is baseball never comes down to one game. All right. There are very few times in a year where baseball comes down to one game. So you know what? Fuck it. The Texas Rangers come into Fenway. I'm afraid. I'm still afraid because you know what? It's a one-game playoff. You don't know what's going to happen in one game, Grant.
You're making my point for me. You said you weren't afraid, and I said that's bullshit.
Grant, I'm afraid of a one game. Obviously, you don't want to be in a one-game wild card. You just don't want. It doesn't matter who's coming to town. Yes. Am I afraid of the Blue Jays? Yes. Would I be afraid of the Yankees? Yeah. Let them come to town, Grant, because it doesn't matter. It's a one-game playoff. Every team in baseball, any team can win on any given day. It's not like football. Any team can win on any given day. Let me not be a dumbass here. But okay, take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? You take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you take the New York Jets, and they play 10 times. The Buccaneers are probably going to win 10 times, right? In baseball, that's not going to happen. You take the worst team and the best team. It's not going to happen. A 10-game sweep is probably not going to happen. So in a one-game wild card, Grant, anyone can win on any given day. So yes, am I afraid of the Blue Jays? But it doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't matter. Give me the Yankees, give me the Blue Jays, give me the Mariners. It doesn't matter. Anyone can beat anyone, Grant. That's what it comes down to. I'd almost rather have the Blue Jays because you might get the inconsistent Blue Jays. You might get the down Blue Jays for the night. So it is what it is, Grant. It's a one-game wild card. As long as it's running through Fenway, Grant, that's fine. I'm not afraid of the Blue Jays coming to Fenway. I'm afraid going to the Rogers Center. That's what I'm afraid of, Grant. As long as they come here, whoever, give us whoever. If the wild card runs through Boston, we're going to win it.
I will say that Fenway in the postseason, if you guys get to host that wild card, that could make a huge difference.
Really anywhere, honestly. I mean, Fenway, Yankee Stadium, it's not like the verb, Saeed. Okay. So like Saeed, if it goes to Yankee Stadium, that's going to be rocking there. The Rogers Center in Toronto is going to be rocking. Like there's going to be any place. I mean, even the only place that isn't rocking during the playoffs is Tampa Bay. And even Tampa Bay does a decent job. Even Tampa Bay does.
You know what's hilarious about that? Tampa Bay has the best home record in baseball, and nobody goes to the games.
Maybe that's why, Grant. Maybe just nobody. Maybe here's the thing about Tampa Bay, though, and I heard a thing about. I forget who it was. I think it might have been Kevin Kiermaier. I don't know. But he was talking about like why there's no Rays fans. Like the Rays just came into effect. Like the Rays were the Expos, and then they came into effect in what 2000, some early 2000s. I don't really know.
Whoa! The Expos became the Nationals.
Oh, Expos became the Nationals. Who the Rays become then, Grant?
Well, they were the Devil Rays.
No, we're the Rays to who were the Rays' first team? It wasn't first.
I'm going to throw this comment up on the screen. That's why the Rays won the COVID season. They're used to playing without fans.
There you go. All right, before a team. Okay, getting a team. The Devil Rays. Okay, by naming former Atlanta Braves. So I guess they were just an expansion team. All right, so they were just an expansion team. My bad. All right. So what do you put? Like they were used to play without fans. Yeah, I agree with that. All right. So they were an expansion team, right? So they got expanded into 2000, 1998 in that range, whatever. Like this generation, there's not Rays fans. Like everyone grew up you grew up a Yankee fan, you grew up a Red Sox fan. Like that generation has not been there. So it's going to take another 20 years for them to have fans in the stands. And also they really need to upgrade the stadium. I mean, if I'm in Tampa Bay, I'd rather play outside, I think, even though it's hot, but I think they could do a better job with that. Probably put it closer to like the city area instead of having it out on the coast. There's a lot of things they could do. That's not important right now, Grant. You know what's important? The wild card runs through Boston.
Yeah, I mean that's a good closing thought. I think we're kind of talking in circles. I said it on this morning's show. I still have a lot of questions about the Red Sox, but I don't want to say I'm getting more confident because I'm a neutral, but I guess if I were picking teams that could, win that wild card, maybe progress in the postseason, then I am becoming more confident in what the Red Sox can do. I know you've brought it up a bunch of times. Red Sox have had a bunch of different injuries, bunch of different COVID absences, and at the start I was saying, so what? That happens to everybody. That's a part of it. Not just baseball. It happens in professional sports like football, basketball. Everybody deals with it, right? But it went on for a long time. The Red Sox, sure, they lost games they shouldn't. I would have liked to have seen them beat better teams more consistently, but I feel like they checked off some boxes during that stretch. And I feel like if they could go into the postseason as a whole, then I will be much higher on them than I was, say, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, listen, my final thought here, then we'll move on to the National League. It's just when you look at what the Red Sox have done, they were really hot. They got cold. They all got COVID, and they're still freaking here, Grant. And that's what it comes down to. The Yankees, they blew their load in August. You need to blow your load in September going into the postseason. We knew that was going to happen. It was inevitable that the Yankees were going to cool down. Credit to the Rays. They've been here the whole time. They've done well. Even they lose Tyler Glass now, and they still dominate this year. And the Blue Jays have just been inconsistent, but now they're getting back there, and they're a dangerous team right now. So this is really anyone's game over a one-game wild card. It's scary. It's dangerous, and that's why we love it so much, Grant. But the one saving grace that we have right now is it runs through Fenway Park, Boston, Massachusetts. Bring whoever you want. We're going to kick your ass. All right, Grant. National League time, baby. Unless you got anything else.
Nope. Go ahead. National League. Let's go.
Harper Tatis Jr. for the National League MVP, Grant. You break this down.
Yeah, so I first came across this headline about a week ago. I think it was on Pardon the Interruption, right? And they were talking about, who is the National League MVP? Is it Fernando Tatis Jr. or is it Bryce Harper? And I read that, and I thought that's ridiculous. Tatis has this locked up. He has for a few weeks, right? And so my first reaction was the next morning, come on the show, come on Parlay Power Hour. You can check us out every morning at 10 Eastern. And you said, hold on now, Bryce Harper's been balling. And, I knew that he was doing really well. I knew he was carrying that Philadelphia offense, but it never really occurred to me to just go take a deep look at the stats, take a deep look at what each player means to their respective teams, right? Because I am personally a proponent that MVP, most valuable player, has to do with value. I love that, the best players in basketball get the most recognition because basketball is the most star-oriented league, at least in major American sports that we have, right? But if it went to the best player every year, LeBron would have won 10 MVPs. And before that, Kobe would have won every MVP, But we have players like Jokic winning it last year, and you've got Westbrook winning MVP. And I like that because I think most valuable player is the player with the most value to their team. So as much as I think Tatis, and I've always thought super highly of Tatis, and he's really the one player on that San Diego team that when they have all these series with the Dodgers and even the Giants, especially now that they have Chris Bryant, Tatis is the guy to step up, say like I have the star power to compete with you guys. I talked about it on the show. He was 0 for 6 in the 15th inning, and he smacks a 2-run home run to tie the game and send it to the 16th inning. That's what stars do. But then I looked at Bryce Harper, and this Philadelphia offense, the fact they're in a position to make the playoffs is kind of remarkable considering that they really don't have that much firepower. Bryce Harper, I can read his stats out. He's 7th in batting average. He's got a 311. He's hit 33 home runs, 80 RBIs. He's first in OPS. That's the most impressive stat he has there. Personally, I'm still leaning Tatis, but as I've said and thought about it, I've given a lot more respect to Bryce Harper. It felt like we needed somebody to rival Tatis too. Once DeGrom went out with his injury, we were talking about, is it Trey Turner potentially? I think that ship's kind of dead in the water. But this MVP race is a lot closer than I previously thought. But I'm still sticking with Tatis.
I think Harper deserves some credit because most of his stats, correct me if I'm wrong here, most of his stats are better than Tatis except for the home run margin, right?
I think Tatis has more RBIs as well.
Okay, so Tatis has more RBIs.
But he's also missed, I think, like 15 more games than him or something like that.
We were talking about this. Did we talk about this last week? Right? We talked about this last week. Like both these guys are missing like 20 or 30 games this year, which is insane that they're in the MVP conversation. But anyways, when we look at this, is it Harper or Tatis? If I had a vote, I would go with Tatis because he is the most exciting player in baseball. And he does a lot for that team. Without Tatis, you see it. Like when he doesn't perform, that team doesn't stand a chance. And I don't know why they fell off the map so much. I guess some injuries, the pitching went downhill. Darvish was not good. But realistically, the Padres vacationing in October, here's another good segue, is crazy to me. That we thought this team was going to be this big time compete with the Dodgers, and then the Giants get into the mix, and now they're the best team in baseball. But again, too, like we were saying, I don't think a lot of people realize this. You stick this team in the National League Central, the American League Central, the American League East, they're going to be in a dogfight. They probably
National League East, they win that.
They win with that. The American League Central, the American League West, they win that. The National League West, they don't win that. So they win 5 divisions.
You like them in the AL West.
Oh, and then the AL West, they would win that hands
down.
No,
I'm asking you. You like them in the AL West?
Yeah, well, what's Houston's record right now?
High 80s for wins, I think.
Houston's 89 and 61. San Diego is 76 and 73, so they're 13 games better. It's a toss-up, but again, you got to factor in. You got to play 38 games against the Dodgers and the Giants, and then your crossover games are, I believe, the American League West. So it's like you got one of the toughest divisions in the American League too, because you got to face the A's, the Mariners, and the Astros. Grant, I don't know. I'm surprised. I wish the Padres were making the playoffs because I think baseball is more like realistically a 1-game playoff between the Padres and Dodgers would be cool. I'd rather have it over 7 games. And honestly, I think in the playoffs, what do you think of this? The Padres and Dodgers are going to put together a better series than the Dodgers and Giants.
100%. Even though, and let me preface that by saying I want to see the Giants more because I think what they have done has been incredible. And they, if the Dodgers overtake them, on one hand, it's good. They got the most talent. They're the best team. They're the team that probably should win this World Series. So you want to see them, not have to play a best of one to get in. But at the same time, I feel like it would be just kind of I don't know, almost a backhanded slap to the Giants if they were degraded to a one-game play-in after, they had the best record in baseball the whole year. So while I do want to see the Giants in there more than the Padres and the Dodgers have proven that they give us the best series in baseball.
You know what's exciting right now, too? Like, I have no clue. I have no clue who's going to win this World Series, and that's why I can't wait for playoff baseball. You got the Dodgers. You got the Giants. Who's going to win there? You have no clue. The Giants are the little engines that could. Nobody believes in them, but they still might get in. Like, they still might win the World Series. You look at the American League. I mean, the Red Sox have a chance. I'm going to throw them first because I got the Red Sox jersey on. But the Red Sox, the Yankees could do something. The Blue Jays could do something. The White Sox could do something. The Astros could do something. The American League's a complete toss-up. The National League's between the Giants and the Dodgers, and even the Brewers. Don't count them out. I mean, if they keep the offenses off the board, they're going to do okay. They got really good pitching. Who am I kidding? So it's just like I don't know who's going to win the World Series, and that's why this season is great. There's fans back in the stands. Last year in the playoffs, we didn't even have fans till the ALCS or NLCS. Only one of the championship series had fans, and then the World Series had fans.
You know what's incredible about the Brewers too? As inconsistent as their offense can be, they are starting to get a little bit better. So props to them. That's going to be hugely important in the postseason when you're facing top tier pitchers who are locked in. But I don't want to say they could easily, but they could feasibly beat the Dodgers or the Giants in a series because their pitchers have shown that when they face these top teams, it doesn't necessarily phase them. Like their pitchers, they've got guys that can go at the most talented batters in baseball. Now, would I pick the Brewers to beat the Dodgers? No. But, the Brewers have 2 games where, they're locked in. Now they're up 2-0 in the series, and they're 100% capable of doing that. In terms of talent, they have the second most talented rotation of starters behind the Dodgers. And, might be a little less consistent, but they're still very good. It doesn't take much for them to go out there, let up 1 run in 7 innings. And now, if you're the Dodgers, now you're shitting your pants because you're about to lose to the Brewers.
Yeah, 100%. I genuinely don't know who's going to win the World Series this year. And I would say, the Dodgers are hands down going to win it. But how many times have the Dodgers been there in the past few years and have lost? So it's like, the year they lost to the Red Sox had a better team. I will say that. But like the Dodgers have been there before and they don't always deliver. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be the Dodgers. Do I think the Dodgers beat the Giants over 7 games? Yeah, because they're a better baseball team and you go with the better team. But again, the Giants have shown that they can beat the Dodgers this year. The American League's freaking toss-up. It's anyone's guess. So I'm very excited.
See, I would challenge that. And don't get me wrong, I know experience plays a huge part. I don't want to discount that at all. But if you look purely at what's happened in the recent matchups in the regular season, the Giants have been better than the Dodgers when they've played. They have been better than them. Now, the Dodgers team is better on paper. That's not up for debate at all. But the Giants have played better than them when they faced each other. So, I'm very interested to see if that continues in the postseason, assuming we end up getting that matchup. Or does experience favor the Dodgers? We'll have to wait and see for that. But I don't think it's fair to say the Dodgers are a better team than the Giants are.
I will challenge that one more thing. If we're looking,
you're going to rebuttal.
I'm going to rebuttal here. Should have gone to law school. If we're going to go with the 5 games, there's still time. 5-game series, 7-game series, Grant. 5-game series, 7-game series. I'm Dave Roberts. I'm scheming. Okay. Who am I going to put out? Max Scherzer first, Walker Buehler second, Julio Urias, freaking Trevor Bauer, wherever and Trevor Bauer's not coming back. It was a joke. But all these dudes that we have, right? Like, I'm going to scheme for that where, you know what, if the Giants play him, I'm not scheming. It's just whose day it is in the rotation too. So that's another thing that's going to play into it. Also, playoff baseball. Cody Bellinger got injured. I don't know what the severity of it is, but when we look at that too, like, playoff Cody Bellinger is going to be back. Like, he's going to show up in the playoffs. It's another dude. Dodgers all the way.
I'm not confident in that at all. As much as I want to agree, the guy's hitting 180 this year. I don't care how much experience he has. You can't, and he's injured now. So you're going to ask him to come back and be an MVP after he's been injured.
I never said
and he's
that.
Been sucking.
I never said that. I never said that we're going to ask him to be an MVP. I said we're going to ask him to hit the baseball a little bit. Yeah.
Well, if he hits the baseball, he's the MVP. Because when he hits the ball, he's scoring runs. He's hitting home runs.
He needs to. We talked about this. He needs to fix the swing path a little bit. But, yeah, Grant. The bottom line is, Grant, we can have this debate all night. We're going to see it in about 2 weeks, so we're going to know. We're going to know, and then you can pick the Giants. We'll do live watch-alongs. You pick the Giants. I'll pick the Dodgers. Go Dodgers.
See that like I said, I want to pick the Giants so bad because they've been the better team. They are the better team than the Dodgers. Can't argue that because they've won more head-to-head and they have the better record. But the Dodgers are more talented and they're more experienced. So it's very, very hard to call.
Grant, how many Disney movies come true in real life?
Okay, is this a Disney movie though? It's not like the Giants are it's not like they're the Rockies.
It's a Disney movie, Grant. How many Disney movies come true in real life? That's my question to you, Grant. And then you make your bets for the World Series, the Division Series is going to happen, and you make your bets for that based off that quote. How many Disney movies come true in real life?
Well, the Red Sox won a World Series, so there's one.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, 2004 came back. What? 3 games to nothing. 4 games in October, 30 for 30, ESPN Plus. Gonna go watch that before the playoffs, Grant. Get all fucking juiced up, feel some type of way for fucking playoff baseball. Wild card
run across the street.
Wild card runs to Boston, baby. And you know what? I'm gonna pay $300 to go to the wild card game, and I'm gonna go scream my ass off at Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and tell him to suck it because the wild card runs through Boston. We're going to the Division Series. We're going to the ALCS. Who knows what's going to happen after that? But, if this Red Sox team makes it to the ALCS, all bets are off, Grant. Go Red Sox.
You know what Vladdy's going to do? For anyone who doesn't know, those big lights back there behind Tanner, that's Fenway. Vladdy's going to hit a ball right through your freaking window right there. You're going to come home from the game and it's going to be sitting on your desk.
You know what's funny, Grant? So, actually, if Vladdy hit a ball through my window, it'd be a foul ball. Actually, so
he has the power to do it.
That's fine. Hit it through my window, Grant. You know what? As long as the ball's not going over the monster, that's good. If he hits it right here, it's a foul ball. So that's fine.
How about this? If Vladdy hits a ball through your window, you can't get it replaced.
I mean, I think the apartment complex would not be very happy about that, Grant. But I will try. I mean, yeah, if Vladdy hit a ball through my window, I would think that was first of all, I think that was the coolest thing ever. It'd probably be worse.
Oh yeah.
But also, Grant, Red Sox to the World Series. That's what you need to know. Final thoughts, Grant. That was a good show. 33 minutes. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Yeah, I'm writing a preview for the Tide. They're going against Southern Mississippi. That's a real toss-up. I think Alabama's favored by 45 points there. So make sure you check out my insight if you don't have your pick already for that one. My final thought is, Tanner, like I said, as much as I hate on the Red Sox, they're looking I don't want to say they're looking a lot better, but they're convincing me a lot more just because of how solid they've been. The fact they've held a 1-game cushion in the wild card, you can easily look at that and say that's not impressive at all. That means they're playing .500 baseball. It also means they're holding up without a lot of their star players. So kudos to the Red Sox. But my real final thought is this American League as a whole. I have no idea what's going to happen. I didn't want to harp on it too much because you talked about it. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen in the American League. The easy answer is the Astros, especially when we factor in experience there. I don't think they're going to make it to the World Series. And I said about a month ago that I thought they would. I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like they are also another inconsistent team. American League is just very inconsistent. But, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the White Sox, any one of them, I think, can take a series off the Astros. So, I mean, like you, I have no idea who's going to be in the World Series. I'm just very excited to watch it happen.
Yep, there you go. Hey, I'm good. I already got my points across. One thumb, one finger, one pinky. All love. That was Between the Lines, number 37. Thanks for the support, everyone. Saeed, you're becoming the number 1 fan here, so shout out to you. We will see you next Tuesday, Grant. Tuesday's our night now.
Tuesday is the night.
And the content's only going to keep increasing when the Red Sox win the World Series. So make sure you keep tuning in, smash the subscribe button. We'll talk to you next week for another episode of Between the Lines.